And 3 and 2 and 1. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Crease tonight?
In the House of Grace tonight, we are going to be talking to Nick Edwards about his new book called Stilettos. Plus, we have a topic for you guys today, and that is topic of will you be broke even after distribution?
Dude, I'm always broke.
Let's talk about it.
Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera. And I am with...
Wow, George, the Dreamer Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. It is Tuesday, July 9th, 8 p.m. here in the East Coast. I am back home. Sammy is in the, where you at? Texas? And I mean, dude, we had some crazy weather out there. Oh, yeah. And it's Sam's birthday. What's up, Lou? Hugo.
Oh,
hey, I just wanted to say, Lou, so sorry for the loss of your little kitten. I saw that online.
Yes.
That's extremely sad. Sorry about that, Lou.
Yes.
Big shout out to her. Big supporter of the show.
Yes.
But yeah, dude, we are back. It is Tuesday night, so we are live.
Thank you, Lou.
Yeah, and we're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna be talking to Nick Edwards tonight. He is the creator, writer of Stilettos. We're going to be talking to him about that, a revenge thriller. And we're going to be talking about, distribution and will you be broke even after you get distribution and all that stuff. Before we do any of that, please, if you are watching, please hit the like button, subscribe. So we are getting very close to 2,000 subscribers. So that's good. I remember there was a time where we were trying to get to 1,000. Now we're trying to get 2 Gs. So we're about a little under 200 subscribers to get to 2,000. So that's the next milestone. Help us get there. Share this video out, do all that fun stuff. But yeah, man, we're gonna do some fun stuff today. So what's up, Sammy? How you doing? How you holding up after that storm?
Well, we shout out to everybody in Houston. My heart goes out to you guys. Prayers. I hope that 9 people lost their lives, unfortunately, and it was tough out there. So, prayers are with you guys out there. But we were fortunate enough that we weren't affected by it, by this one. The tornado that we had last time affected me, and my roof was damaged and all that stuff. But this one we actually dodged. So, So shout out to everybody out there.
Yeah, you guys get hit, man. It's crazy.
Yes.
Craziness. But yeah, no, we are wishing Sam a happy birthday. Yeah, today it's the birthday show. It's the birthday show today. It's Sam's birthday today. Sam, how old are you now? Tell us.
Well, hold on.
Oh, here we go. I knew there was something going on with that video.
Huh?
What is this? Don't hurt nothing. Check it.
Did you hear it?
No, I can't hear anything.
Hopefully they heard it.
Oh, okay.
Did anybody hear it out there?
I don't know. It was muted on my end.
Huh?
It was muted on my end.
Was it?
Yeah.
Let's try
this is from Bad Boys 2.
Yeah, it's Bad Boys 2. Hold on. Let me unmute on my end.
From Bad Boys 2.
That's Bad Boys 2. Hold on. Hold on. Shh. There we go.
And we got a routine. We want all the local town shows. We think about going national. Wait, oh, you want to show them some routine? Yeah, we got a routine. Warm it up. We think about going national. Yo, watch this. Watch this. This that shit right here. This
I don't know if you heard it.
Yeah, we can hear it.
All right, cool. I don't know if you heard it. So that was hold on, they mute just now. This is what happens when you don't have Herman.
Yeah, there's no producer. Herman was fired about 2 years ago. He never turned back. Yeah, there's no. Wow, you really can't hit that mute button, huh? He never turned back. Hit the mute button. Wow, you really
Hold on, I gotta mute the mic.
Oh man, technical difficulties. See, Sam's getting a little older, so he's forgetting how to use the buttons. You know what I mean? Look, he's about to mute me in a few minutes. He still can't do it. Look at his face. Come on, Sam. Come on, dog. Okay, I'm unmuted.
My keyboard went out.
What's going on?
Hold on. Keyboard. Hold on.
Oh boy, it's serious business. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? So this is what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about we're all gonna sing Sam Happy Birthday. I'm thinking now there's a few of us in the chat. Do it. Type in lines from the Happy Birthday song. Special. Let's see how this goes. And Sam can probably hear me because he always has a mute anyway. Let's see how this goes. My keyboard is possessed. Oh, that's it. My keyboard is possessed. Boy. Are you back or what?
Wow, that was horrible. That was horrible.
Never play
My
that video again,
keyboard
please.
went dead on me, bro.
This is why we have to do a check before we came on. I asked you, what was that video before we went live? And you
No,
were,
it had
you were
nothing to do
trying
with
keep it
any.
under wraps. Oh, now you're muted. You just muted yourself. You muted yourself. What are you doing?
Hello? You hear me?
What the hell? Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, my keyboard died on me. It was crazy.
Oh, man.
It wouldn't let me mute.
How did your keyboard die?
It just died.
It just died. Anyway,
so the
let's
function
get back
key,
to the shows.
the function key on my left-hand side is not working.
Well, let's
Sam
carry on
thinks
here. The show must go
you
on.
get away with all sorts of That's right. It's all muted.
Seriously,
Oh,
what's
it's
going on
horrible.
over there?
What an opener.
Anyway.
Woo! That's how my day's been going. So to answer
Aye.
your question, that's how my day's going. It's been
Yeah,
like that all
really.
day. Been crazy.
Terrible. Sipping on
Yeah,
that
you can
liquor.
slip it. Yo, right here, baby. A nice little
Unbelievable.
old fashioned.
Unbelievable. Oh,
Aquí yo quiero trago. No, pum, pum, pum,
anyway,
pum, pum, pum.
can we get back to it?
So we're getting back to you.
What's
You
going on?
You said you would sing to me.
I'm not going to sing anything, dude. That was all lies. I needed to get you on the show today, so I said I
All the
would.
while you were in front of me, I never realized.
Wow.
I just can't believe I couldn't see it in your eyes. Come on, come on, George.
Mark.
Sing to me.
What is this Mark? What is this Mark Anthony shit? You going in on the birthday celebration?
No, what's going on? I'm getting ready for
what's going on this weekend? Not this weekend. In a couple of weekends. What's
in a
going
couple of
on?
weekends. I'm getting ready for the Texas Latino Comic Con. I'm getting ready. It's gonna be dope. So the tour continues with the Texas Latino Comic Con one-day show. Is going to be fun. Then on to Bell County Comic Con, then Cowtown, College Station, and ending the year with Denton Comic Art Expo. So that's what I've been getting ready for. I'll have El Chapulín, this print available at that show, plus the sticker for that show specifically,
nice.
and also I'll have these new prints as there as well. Duty and Friends and Duty as Goku all requested. So let's see if that crowd gravitates to it as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a 1-day show. I don't have to stay at a hotel. It's a 40-minute drive back and forth, back at home.
Nice.
So that's what I'm doing there. That's what I'm getting ready for. I just uploaded the latest vlog for The Art of Samuel, which is trending nicely.
Wow.
On the first 24 hours, it broke 100, and now it's really trending higher.
And what
Views.
Sam, listen, I started watching it, and then I turned it off after the crack.
Crack is whack.
Crack is whack.
He started laughing.
I couldn't keep going. It was a side of you I had never seen before, and I wasn't comfortable with it. So
move over, butter.
So I was like, you know what? I'll have to.
Yeah, you still saw me when I was editing it. I was like, yo, Sam.
You couldn't take it out? You couldn't just go back?
It was too much of it. I had to put a cloud. I put the cloud.
The cloud came after. It was too late. It was too late.
Man. Yeah, it was. That was awesome. That crack part was funny.
Yeah,
I was like,
you. Jesus Christ! I was like,
yo,
what is this?
The superhero Comic-Con one. That's taking me a minute to because there's so much footage. It's taking me a minute.
I hear you. That'll be a minute. That'll be a minute.
But that was funny. The crack is white, but it's trending really nicely. The last time I checked, it was in the hundreds of views. So, really cool. So, and the fan base is growing there too. So that's pretty solid.
Nice. Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you got going on. That's awesome, brother. I'll actually also be at a show on Saturday the 20th. It's also a 1-day show, Plastic City Comic-Con. So if you guys haven't gotten your tickets yet, make sure you do. It's going to be out in Massachusetts. So if you're in the East Coast, if you're in, I can't pronounce the name of this town, but I'm going to say it the way I see it.
Wicked.
Leominster.
Oh, there it is.
Leominster. There it is. At the Hilton Doubletree in Leominster. It's a 1-day show. Kids get in for free under 12 years old.
Those are my kind of shows, bro.
$10 at the door, bro. $10 at the door, 1-day
yes,
show.
Pesos.
Nice. I actually ended up going to a convention while I was in Cali. It was like this traveling convention. They do.
Yeah, I heard about shows.
That. Pretty cool. There were no indies in there, but it was a pretty cool show. I picked up a couple of Amazing Spider-Mans because I collect those. But yeah, it was like $7 to get in. You know what I mean? Not even $20 I paid for myself, my brother-in-law, and my nephew.
That's what I'm saying.
$20, bro. So we got in there and we started spending money. Nah, I know. So that was ridiculous. But yeah, so big shout out to the Ohana Comic-Con, which does travels throughout, Cali. They do 1-day shows throughout Northern California, I want to say.
Nice.
So it was good, man. It was good. We needed 3. Yeah, we can't do it though. It's hard to get everybody in the same room at the same time.
Word.
The Horseman show. It's tough. It's tough.
I know. I think Johnny's like the missing link.
Johnny, yeah, it's hard to get. Actually, speaking of John, he will be with me at the at Plastic City Comic-Con, and it's a 1-day show, but we're gonna, I'm gonna be out there for the weekend. So we're traveling down Friday to set up, and then Saturday's the show. Then we're gonna kind of just hang out. Sunday drive back, but kind of do our thing out there. So that's gonna be dope. Fun. Like I said, if you guys are in the area, come by. And then right after that, in August 10th and 11th, I will be at Wicked Comic-Con.
Get wicked.
Yes, Wicked Comic-Con in Boston. So if you guys are in Boston, head out to Wicked Comic-Con. If you haven't gotten tickets yet and you want to go to wickedcomiccon.com. Type in Get Your Meds, the way you see it on the screen. One word, Get Your Meds with a Z, and you get 10% discount at checkout. So you're going to get tickets discounted 10% with my promo code. So make sure you go to wickedcomiccon.com, and then type in Get Your Meds when you get tickets. So that's going on, and then I'll be in Baltimore in September, and then in October I will be at New York Comic Con, and I'm working with my publisher. Big shout out to Darkfire Press, working with them to get the next installment of Wonder Dog, The Adventures of Wonder Dog, by October. So for those who have been waiting for that, I know at least I owe you a copy of that. So that will be available in October.
Back to you, babe.
That's right. And you know what? I said I wasn't going to sing.
I'm waiting for it, bro.
Well, no. This is what we're going to do. And we'll pull that back up in a few minutes. I just want to make this quick announcement for everybody watching. So pull that down so there's no distraction. Let's wait till the end of the show. end of the show.
Oh, you're full of it.
Stick around to the
He's
end
full
of
of
the
it.
show.
He's full
After
of it.
it's all said and done,
No.
after the gas.
Because today you tell me
We-
something y
what do you
mañana
mean?
otra cosa.
Mentirosa.
Mentirosa.
Nico C. You brought it back, homie. Anyway, what was Aniba's comment? If we's willing, we can make it happen. I'm gonna personally make it my business to track down the Cyfax. And then, hi Dan. All right, so Sammy, yeah. So we'll do it at the end. We'll do it at the end.
Yeah.
We'll definitely do it at the end.
Yes.
And we'll do some others, whatever. We'll have some fun. But
We're
let's
gonna
talk
have
a
me
little
some
bit
fun.
about why we broke, bro. What's
Why
going
we
on? What's
broke?
going on with distribution and being broke? And
Do this.
let's talk about it.
It's time for your medicine.
So, will you remain broke without distribution?
Without distribution, man.
Without distribution.
Why are you laughing?
Because this is like if we get 7. Hell no.
29.
No.
And you
hell to the no.
are very nice, brother. You're very
Yes.
nice.
Well, what's up, Diggs?
What up, Diggs? Oh man. So broke distribution. Will you still be broke
No money, no honey.
after distribution? Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about
Let's talk
first.
about it.
We always have like these conversations about the business and why this topic, Sam? What made you think of this topic?
Because what I appreciate and what I love about the art form
Mhm.
is the passion, the will to survive. I will survive as long as I know how to love. I'll love. Anyway, so the fight, right? The thrill of the hunt, right? And and the facing of adversity, the climbing the mountain. Ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low.
Song after every okay. Okay. All right.
So it's like everybody has that eye of the tiger rising up
Oh, yeah.
on my feet.
Oh
So,
my God.
but the
Go ahead.
reality is
Yeah.
there's so many body bags because
Yeah.
it's more of an expensive hobby because without distribution, without that mass reach, it's hard to really garner and do this for a living if you don't have that secured.
Mm.
So most people, this is that second thing that they're doing after work, right? In the independent community. So I think it for me, I was pondering. I said, let us ponder for a moment. I was pondering the other day. I was like, well, how many out there who are still fighting the good fight that are not actually getting a return on the investment, that's not converting because they don't have distribution.
So are we going to, when we talk about distribution, are we talking about publishing or getting a publisher to distribute your book? Or you talking about you distributing your book, you getting
Either way, but as long
Yeah.
as you have, if you could do it yourself and have the budget to be able to support your own distribution, financing your own distribution with a diamond or whatever, big whatever, and maintain fulfillment levels, right, and replenishment, reorders, and all that other stuff. Either way, whether it's on your own or through a bigger company, but are you really? When does it switch? When do you start making money where you can do it where you don't have to worry about cost?
Yeah.
Because think about all it. Most of the money's going out. And if you're doing conventions, you're just making enough to pay for the next convention most of the time, right? Pay for the next printing product, paying for the inventory for that convention, or paying for the hotel for the next convention, or the travel for the next convention. It's just paying for itself. So think about the starving artist. If you're a creator, if you create your own stuff, if you write art and draw, right, and say you don't have no overhead, you don't have to worry about paying a third party, right? You're not paying yourself because everything's an expense. And if you don't have distribution, when is that return? How much of it is an aspirational dream, a hobby, versus a career?
Right. So the question, will you remain broke without
Right.
distribution? I think that there's a few factors, right? It depends on certain things. And I think one of those factors is it depends on who you are, the type of person you are, right? Like there are some people who just know how to make money, right? There are some people who just are good savers, whether it's because they save money or because they just know how to make money. They just know how to do it.
Yes.
So if you're that kind of person, will you remain broke without distribution? Probably not. I think without distribution, you probably still can get through. You know, like if you're an artist, especially if you're an artist, or even if you're a writer, if you find, you know, freelance work or whatever, that is, of course, that takes away from what you're trying to do, which is self-publish and put out your own stuff. But I think it depends on that, right? The other thing I think it depends on is I think it's the quality of your product. It's all about quality, right? It's all about, is that book quality book? And I'm not talking about, do you like it? I'm not talking about, do you think it's good? I'm talking about, is it something that can sell? Is it something that makes money? But I think that even with distribution, you can be broke, right? Because if you aren't the type of person who hustles, or if you aren't the type of person, or you don't have the right product, you may still be broke even with distribution. Because at the end of the day, you got to hustle. With you have to hustle your product. You have to go out and you have to hit the pavement running. And you know, some stores are going to say no. Some people are going to say no. You got to be able to, you know, turn those no's into yes. Will you remain broke without distribution? Maybe. But I think it depends, man. I think it really depends on who you are and the product that you have.
I was watching an interview with this female who created a graphic novel, pitched it, got picked up by a publisher, but she had to do a lot more marketing than she expected because the publisher was paying for the first initial marketing, right? You know, promoting it to all the bookstores and libraries and all that other stuff, whatever, and getting it distributed and sent out. But if she wanted to do book signings, she had to secure all that. If she wanted, you know, she had to do a lot of legwork to drive top line sales.
Right.
So the work didn't end. But because she did that legwork with the first volume, she secured a second deal with the second volume, which secured her a six-figure a deal. But had she rested on her laurels and just expected them to do all the work, she might have had that same response. So she needed to go out of her own pocket and hire somebody to help her with marketing, to get her to all these venues, to do signings and in events and all that other stuff, whatever. So it doesn't end because of distribution. It begins. It begins because that's that next stage. It's almost like breaking the fourth wall, right? Is that first layer. Now what do you do? So it still required a lot of your time. But if you don't have mass reach, if you don't have that initial, and this is speaking to everybody who doesn't have 10,000 followers, 5,000 engaged followers, not just followers because they're following, but engaged followers that are true fans of your work. That's going to convert into sales. And you don't have distribution, it makes it harder. Distribution, what it does is gives you credibility, right? In the eyes of investors or retailers or whatever, because they're like, oh, well, you know what? If this is distributed, yes.
Yeah, for us,
right?
the comic book shops. Yes. The first thing they still ask, or you know, they won't just open the door to you if you don't have distribution.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's that first wave, but then the second wave, same thing that distributors ask. What's your marketing budget? What's your marketing strategy? That's the distributor's going to ask that. And then what's your budget? You have to have secured a certain amount of money. We've talked about that before. If you're going to get picked up by a distributor, so you have to have enough for that initial order and re-up, right? But can you do it without it? You know, is it you know, how hard is it going to be? You know, how much money do you have to invest? Because, you know, everyone talks about, you know, no reward without risk, right? You have to spend money to make money, right? But how much of money are you spending, and when do you anticipate making it money, and where's the threshold, and can you do it if you don't have that foundation secured? And it's just anything. It's just the price of admission. Conventions, they look at that, right? The first, why are conventions asking you to send them pictures of your tables now, right? They want to see your setups, right? Yeah. They want to look at your social media. Why? They want to see your following. Do you have an engaged follower, or you just have a number, right? They want to see that. They want to look at your blogs if you have blogs.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Like for New York Comic Con, right? Just to get a pro badge, right? You talk about who you know, right? One of the questions, or one of the things that you have to fill out when you're filling out a pro badge. Now, this is a badge that allows you to go into the show, 4-day show, for a lot less than what it would cost you to get a ticket for the weekend. as a professional badge, right? And one of the questions towards the end is basically, who do you know? Give us 3 people in the industry that you know. That almost like when you go for a job and they're asking for references, it's the same thing. They're asking for 3 professional individuals in the business that you know. And based on, I guess, whether it's the name or whether you really know them or not, they determine whether or not you should be, considered or you qualify to come to
It's
the
just
show.
crazy.
So that's what I mean. That's what it's gotten in. That's what it's gotten
Yeah.
down to. Are they asking who you know or who knows you? Well, I mean, that's the question. Who do you know and who knows you?
I see.
It's basically both. Right?
Yeah,
It's
I'm like, I
basically-
know Sam, I know the
Yeah.
crazy man, and I know Vera.
Wow. Interesting.
Sam, the crazy man, Vera.
Interesting. So that's what's happening at these shows
Word.
nowadays. So, there are people, and I know someone who is trying to do what we used to do, right? The guerrilla, get into stores and do that stuff nationwide, and that's tough. That's tough. I was working with somebody at the lettering for who called up a bunch of stores throughout the United States for free comic book day, and was able to get in their store for free comic book day. So they would take his comic book for free and put it in the store. When it came time to ask them if he can put up his book for sale on the shelves, they said no bueno, no bueno. We'll take your book for free, where it's not going to cost us anything. But if you want to get on our shelves to get paid, then you're going to have to go through a distributor to do that, because they won't just, even though you made the contact, he spoke to 50 stores, 50 states. He got him in. He was out in Alaska. He was out in Hawaii. Even out there, he was able to get one store, at least in those entire states, one store each, to carry his book for free. But if he wanted to put it on the shelves for money, he was going to have to go through a distributor. And sometimes I think, I'm like, but you're cutting off you're cutting the middleman.
Yeah.
So I don't even see how much money can you possibly make on that comic book if you go through a distributor versus going right through the person who's creating the book. And they don't care. They want the security to say that, hey, this book is going to get here.
Unless you do it on consignment.
Unless you maybe, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he even gave him that option, but yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Consignment with, it doesn't sell, you got to take it back, right? So it's like, it's a risk. I mean, today, think about it. The average dollar doesn't go so far anymore. Right? They get a price points. I'm going to do a segment for my art channel because I'm getting a lot of questions, right? And one of the biggest questions is, why did you raise your prices? Right? And well, everything just jacked up in order to cover the cost of printing prints. Because now, even if I just printed 100 of one print, the shipping is $30.
Shipping is
$30 just for the shipping. So they've raised prices of shipping. They raised printing costs. They've raised all these other costs. Conventions are raising the prices to have a table. You're paying anywhere from $300 to $500 to $600 for a table, right? So everything has gone up. So it was the hardest decision I had to make. Was like, I got to raise the price of my cover prices at conventions, because I was finding that I was selling more units than my peers, but they were making more money than I was, and I was in the red and they were in the black. Right? Because I was trying to be, economically beneficial to the consumer, but I was hurting myself on all fronts. Right? So I was like, well, I'm not going beyond what they're doing, so I'm going to stay in line with everybody else is doing. Right? And what I find is now I'm actually covering my overhead, because I had to raise the price. Before I was just taking a whooping. Right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things you have to consider, especially when your money's just going out. Right? When is that? And can you make it without distribution? Distribution is not a solve all, but it's one point in the pyramid that you need in order to build the future.
Yeah. And listen, we've talked about in the past about like Kickstarter and crowdfunding and all that other stuff, and how that shouldn't be your only, means to get your book out. But, without distribution, going straight to the people may be the way to kind of balance some of that stuff out. I think if you don't have distribution, there are certain things you have to do. And one of them is get out, hit the road, do some shows, do some book signings, right? But crowdfunding is another one of those ways to kind of like
Lessen
make
the
up
blow.
for some of that, right?
Lessen
To
the
make
blow.
sure, right, to soften it. Exactly, because that is a means of distribution, right? Because you're getting people from all over the country, possibly all over the world, depending on how, where you're willing to ship, you're getting your book out there that way. So without distribution, will you be broke? Will you remain broke? Probably, but again, it depends on the kind of person you are and what you're doing to kind of like, make that money or make what you're doing, make it happen. Because at the end of the day, we for year, 2 years ago, maybe it was, you had the whole brokepreneur thing going, right? Like where you were kind of like,
Entrepreneur, yeah.
yeah, you threw your hat in the ring and said, let me do this full time to see how it goes. And it's tough, right? It's tough when
It's
when you
tough.
have a home, when you have a
Because
wife,
yeah,
you
and
need
the
a 9
game
to
is
5.
and the game has changed, and the economy has changed, and the state of the world has changed, and because of that, priorities are changing, and people are being very mindful, and so, and the conventions are changing. They're looking for a sure thing. Their sure things are celebrities. Their risk are us, right? And so because that's a sure thing, people are going there for celebrities, not necessarily us. So we got to even work even harder when we're at those venues as well. So you have to. So shout out. I do want to say shout out. Shout out to Hector from Texas Latino Comic Con. Shout out to Denton Comic Art Expo. College Station. Shout out to Cowtown Comic Con and to Bell County, because they all reposted my posts that I'm going to be at their show. Every single one of them. That is freaking phenomenal. I was like, yo, they're all doing it. So, but that's adding credibility because they're reaching to their audience, right? So these are venues. I didn't get that from Superhero Comic Con, which was that right. So it's like, but it's those things, right? When these convention promoters are recognizing your hustle and they say, you know what, I like
Absolutely.
your work. I'm going to promote this to our,
Absolutely.
followers so that they know that you're
benefits
coming.
them. Yeah, it benefits
Yes. So
to
shout out
do
to all
that.
you guys.
To do that
One love.
because your audience, people who like your stuff may say, hey, I'm in the area, let me go check out Sam, let me buy a ticket to that show.
Yes.
That's why I think what Wicked Comic Con is doing is excellent, giving the vendors their own discount codes, so that tickets can be sold using their discount code, and that way people come at a discount to see that particular person. They're going to do a tally of who did the most and possibly give them a free table the year after that. So it's little things like that, you know what I mean, that go a long way. But yeah, man, it's a tough nut to crack. It's a tough nut to crack.
It is. It's very complicated to break into that game. But we do have our guest in the background. This was, if you like this topic, give us a thumbs up. Let that algorithm work for us. But I do want to remind everybody that I do have an art channel, and my latest vlog from the Comic Palooza is up right now. So check it out if you haven't yet. Checked it out. And here's a little promo of that art channel. And then when we come back, we'll bring in Nick Edwards. What's up, Nick? Welcome to Catch the Craze.
What's going on, guys? Thanks very much for having me.
Yeah, no problem, Nick. Thank you for coming on, man.
Super happy to be here.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. So where are you streaming from?
So actually, I am currently on a work trip. I am in my hotel room in beautiful Fishkill, New York. Which is,
right up the block from me. That's awesome, bro.
Oh yeah, no, it's I've been here a few times. We got an office up here, so it's just nothing going on out here. But awesome. Yeah, I live in Manhattan full time.
Okay, all right. So you're in New York City. So how has it been, producing your own books and putting everything you have been putting on together? Because this isn't your first book. You have a website and you have more things on that website. So, how have you found the journey of becoming a self-publisher or publishing your own stuff?
Man, it's been crazy. It's been quite a journey. So I was really fortunate enough. Back in February 2020, right before COVID happened. I met my guy who now has become one of my best friends, Scott Beecher, who he started Unearthly Comics. He started this label about 10 years ago, and he'd been making stuff for a while. He'd done a few anthologies and a couple miniseries with a few different writers. And then we met at this convention in 2020 and really just clicked. I had been wanting to break into comics and try to make some for a while. And Scott and I just figured out that we had like a lot of shared interests. We were both huge horror geeks, and so we liked that. And so we just got to talking, and then, you know, COVID happened and everybody was just stuck inside, and that turned into me and Scott just sending each other stuff, and I'd sent him some scripts I'd written, and then he had this idea for this slasher character, and that just turned into our first book, and we did a successful Kickstarter for that back in 2021, and that just went really, really well. And so he extended an invitation to me to come in and sort of help him run the Unearthly label, and it's just been cool. He's just like a dream creative partner, you know. He's just awesome, and so the two of us work really well together. And so now Unearthly Comics is 2-man band, and we just did our second book. The Kickstarter for that one actually just ended 1 week ago, and that was good too. And so we're just continuing to keep things rolling, you know.
Nice. So what was the first book you guys worked on together?
So that was called Gator Man Kills, and that one we quick pitched to people as Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Con Air a little bit.
Nice.
And we just, like I said, we're both horror geeks, and we both wanted to make something for that first book that was like an homage to like 70s and 80s slasher movies. And we just, something fun and pulpy and grindhousey and ridiculous. And we had a lot of fun with that. And it's cool too, because Scott, on top of everything else, is an amazing, talented artist, and so he's able to make everything look really good. And it started as a pandemic project and just morphed into its own thing, and it was pretty cool.
Nice. How many issues of the book do you guys have produced?
So we did 3 issues for that, and then we collected it all into a trade paperback. And so the Kickstarter that we did was actually technically for that trade paperback version. But we've got little peek behind the curtain there. We're trying to finish this current book, Stilettos, right now, that we just ran our Kickstarter campaign for, but we are going to be doing a sort of Gatorman Returns sequel series coming up sometime in the future. No idea when yet, but the idea is there. We both want to work on it, so that's what's coming next. So just the 3-issue miniseries right now, but there will be more Gatorman soon.
That's awesome, dude. And then the second project is Stilettos. Is that the second?
Stilettos, yes, that is correct. And that's a whole separate story, separate characters, separate everything. And that was just a cool story. That one. So Scott came up with the idea for this Gatorman character, had and really pitched me on what became Gatorman Kills. But Stilettos is cool. I love both stories, but Stilettos I was a little excited about because that was kind of my idea. I kind of came up with that idea and wrote the script first, and then pitched Scott on it. And fortunately, he liked it. And so just really cool to see this book come to life too.
I definitely want to talk more about Stilettos, but before we go into what you guys or what you're working now, what you're promoting today, tell us a little bit about when did this writing bug or the writing bug to write comics, when did that bite you, and when did you start? How did you start? What influenced you? Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man, I've been writing, and even I'm no good at drawing, but I was writing and drawing a ton when I was like a little kid. When I was like a little kid, I've loved comics ever since I was a kid. Probably the very first things I remember that got me into comics was 2 things. It was the X-Men animated series on Fox Kids, because I was waking up watching that every weekend, just loving it. I'm a lifelong X-Men fan to this day, so love it. And then of all things, the Captain Underpants books. I don't know if you
Wow.
guys ever read those. Or
I have
anything.
them. I own them.
They're so good, and
Yeah, they
they're
are.
like they're so funny and so
Yeah.
well written, and it's like they're about two kids who are like making their own comics, you know, and like
Right.
make their own comic character. That's and so I just like reading those those
Draws them
books.
in that style. He draws them like kids drawing
Yeah.
comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so insanely well done. So a little bit of that, but then I just, you know, I've always been a fan. I've always been in the scene. I remember my parents would take me to Half Price Books when I was a little kid, and Half Price Books would sell these just like shrink wrapped collections of just random back issues that you just go and buy for like $8 for like 20 or 30 issues or whatever. And I would just like buy those and sit in my room and just like, you know, flip through old copies of like Action Comics and Batman and Uncanny X-Men and Amazing Spider-Man and all that, and just think like this is the coolest stuff I've ever seen.
Right.
And yeah, and I just, you know, the rest is history.
When you sat down to write your first comic, did you already come in with like, I know that, listen, when we read comics, we're like, oh, this is kind of cool, and you figure, okay, this is how things are done. But like, did you read any books on how to write scripts for comics, or like, what was that like? Because I know there are people who think, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, write a comic book, and it's like there's a method to the madness of drawing comics. So what were some of the things you kind of looked into? Who were some of the writers that you kind of emulated or kind of, you know, just got inspired by?
Yeah. So it's so funny you say that, because there is definitely a method to writing comics, but if you like, there are different ways that you can do it. You know, there are like different recipes, because if you look at somebody like Tom King's script versus like an Alan Moore script, you know, and you just look at like their panel like descriptions, it's like Tom King writes, man walks into room.
Right.
Alan Moore will tell like 2 pages of like
correct
talking about, and so it's just so it's cool to just see like the variance in the structure of writing comics. But no, the books that had the most profound impact on me getting into that were Scott McCloud wrote. He did Understanding Comics, and then he did a second one called Reinventing Comics. That one was okay, but he did a third one called Making Comics. And so both the first one and the third one, Understanding Comics and Making Comics by Scott McCloud, are both fantastic.
Nice.
And just were like really, yeah, it teaches you just structurally how comics work, and like just about sequential art as a medium and everything. And he does it as a graphic novel too. So it just like it reads
dope.
It reads really well. And even I would recommend it to somebody who just likes comics, even if somebody like isn't necessarily trying to like make their own. I would say go check out Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics. It's such a good read.
Yeah, that's awesome, brother. That's awesome. Do you find yourself leaning more towards Tom King or more towards Alan Moore when you're writing your scripts?
Probably more toward the Tom King side, but I would say that is mainly because I try to, unless there's like something specific that I like, really, really specific that I want to show or whatever, I kind of like to let the artist do their thing. Yeah. And I like to let the script be a little more flexible in terms of letting the artist like interpret things the way they want. So yeah, like, again, if there's something specific that's really, really key to the story, I'll make a note like, hey, we really got to focus on this, and here's why, you know. But if it's all just, you know, it's up for artistic interpretation, and that's kind of been my ethos so far.
You know, you spoke about having the perfect creative partner, right? And I think that's very important when you're putting together a comic book. You have to like the people you're working with, respect the people you're working with. I think that's key. How long does it take for you and I forget the gentleman's name, that your partner?
His name's Scott. Yeah,
Scott. How long does it take for you and Scott to kind of put together a script of a comic? Like, what does that look like?
Oh man, so in terms of like from going from like, hey, what about this idea? This would make a cool story, to like having a finished script. Not really that long. Wow. Typically what I mean, he's great because we're just two very collaborative people. So, you know, we just like, once we have an idea, then we'll like, you know, just get on the phone and talk, be like, oh, well, what if this happened? Or like, what if we did this? And so it's a lot of like that. It's a lot really cool. And then once I can get like a loose outline, I'm kind of a psycho and I write every day. So writing a comic script for me, and especially because I make it, I don't get too Alan Moore like with my descriptions. So like one of my comic scripts, I would say on average is between like 4,000 and 6,000 words roughly. So I can bust that out in a few days. But so not really too long. It's just like with all of this, you know, the 2 hours of work for the writer is 20 hours worth of work for the artist. You know, I can write, guy walks into a room and that takes me 5 seconds. But if somebody wants to draw a really, really cool drawing of a dude walking into a room, I could take days.
Right.
And so keeping that in mind too. Different workloads expected, I think.
Do you find that you do a lot of like world building or pre-work before you even jump into a script, or you kind of just like, hey man, I know what I want to write, so you just kind of go right into it?
It depends on the story for sure. There are some stories where I make it a point to like flesh out the worlds and be like, how does this work? But I as I've gotten older, I think too, I place more, because when you have a narrative can work in two ways, right? It can either go forward or it can go out, right? And you can flesh out that world. And just as I've gotten older, I've just placed more emphasis and more importance in my writing on the going forward stuff, and just really focusing, trying to make things as much focused on the characters as themselves as I can, because I think that's really how a reader connects to any story is through the characters.
Do you think it also depends on the genre that you're writing?
Oh, totally. Yeah, definitely. If you're writing like a story, I don't know, I think maybe like sci-fi or fantasy, fleshing out those worlds and like determining those rules of just how things work. That's maybe, you know, a little more important than if you're writing like a Western, let's say, you know, or just something that we kind of get an idea of how things work.
So tell me a little bit about that process for Stilettos. Like, what was that like? Are you writing this? Are you moving forward? Or are you expanding the world? Like, what's Stilettos about? Tell us a little bit about that.
So Stilettos is really an isolated story, and it just kind of takes the vast majority of the story, the events in the story, to take place in one location and focus around kind of a small group of characters. So in terms of world building, we definitely wrote it to take place, if it's not our real world, then it's definitely one a lot like ours. It's just like, we're dealing with real people, a lot of people who maybe aren't the best people, but just like real people. And so the quick pitch on this story is like Showgirls meets The Most Dangerous Game, with a little bit of Promising Young Woman in there. The story is about a young woman named Jenna, who is a dancer, and she's really down on her luck. She just found out she was pregnant. Her boyfriend just kicked her out, and she's crashing on her best friend's couch. Her best friend is another dancer named Tanisha, and the two of them get pulled into dancing at this very high-end, lavish bachelor party that's being thrown in this very isolated mountainy state. And without giving too much away, little do they know, things are much more sinister at this bachelor party than they initially seem. And so these gals, you know, are thrown into a situation that it's very adverse. Things are going very poorly, and they've got to rely on some wits and some tenacity to survive. And so really, so all the story takes place mostly over the course of about like a day and a half, in this like kind of one estate.
Nice. And then Lou, one of our listeners, Lou Pons, she said, listening to this makes me want to find a writer to work with. She's an artist. But that's hilarious.
Cool. We are everywhere. We are everywhere.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
for sure, dude. So was that the pitch you gave Scott? Was that what you told him that
Yeah.
got him interested in wanting to draw this thing?
Yeah, and I told him that I wanted the look and feel of the book to be sleazy strip club at 3 a.m. is sort of the general vibe that wanted this story to give off. And he and I wrote the script over the course of about a month in 2022, and we had just finished delivering all of our Gatorman Kills books from our first Kickstarter.
Right.
And so we were just thinking about what do we want to do next. And I had just written this script, and I was like, dude, I just wrote this. Tell me what you think. And he fortunately really liked it.
Nice, dude. Nice. So where are you guys as far as the production of the book?
Yeah. So he's hard at work. I would say we are about 80% of the way done with all of the interior art. So we are most of the way there. Definitely looking at sending the finished book to the printer sometime this fall. Don't know exactly when that will be. Maybe sometime in August or September. Not sure, but sometime this fall. So we are in the home stretch for sure. And like all indie comics people, this is a glorified side gig. So I just got to shout out my man Scott, because he's got 2 kids and a wife and a full-time job, and he's just cranking out this like high quality art. And so I just love him, man. It's unreal.
Good for you, dude. Good for you. Now, I must know, where did you get the idea for this thing? 2022, you kind of sitting around, like, where does it come from? Where does this idea for this like stripper and like where does it come from?
Yeah, man. So I think first of all, I wanted to, when you're watching or reading a story like a revenge thriller, there are characters that you root for. You want to see good things happen to them, and then there are characters that like you can't wait for like bad things to happen to this person, right? Like you want to see the revenge, and like that can be like a very cathartic feeling. So I wanted to write a story with a character that people could really like relate to and root for and empathize with. And I wanted that character to be able to really, can I cuss on this show? Or do you guys cuss? Okay, cool. I wanted this character to really be able to fuck up some people that deserved it. And so, and I just, we've all, I think, probably been around at one point or another. We've seen some dude, whether, it's at a strip club or at a party or just like anywhere, we've seen some dude act creepy and out of pocket to women. And if there are any women in our lives, whether that's girlfriend, wife, sister, friend, anybody, like you've heard the stories of like had just dudes can be awful and like just be crazy. And so so there's just a little bit of that swirling in my head of like, okay, how can I tell a story that's like engaging and entertaining and capture some of this? And it just gradually morphed into Stilettos.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, good stuff, brother. Good stuff.
Thanks.
What she said, I'm more of a Converse lady, but I understand about weaponry of stiletto.
Yeah, no, I get it. We actually had on one of the first pages, we show her, she's like waiting to get picked up. She's wearing some Jordans, and then she takes off her Jordans, puts on her heels like to go to work. And so there's a little bit of that. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. So how can they get this book? For people who are interested in getting the book, how do they get it?
For sure. So as soon as we have the book printed, which if you follow us on our Instagram at Unearthly Comics, all one word, we are going to be updating and keeping people posted of when we actually get the book printed. Again, shooting for sometime this fall. But once that happened, we are going to be selling the books on our website, www.unearthlycomics.com. You can buy from there. We'll ship to you wherever you are, probably just within the US, because shipping internationally is pretty crazy. Sorry to our international friends, but we'll be putting it online too. So if you are international, you'll be able to read it digitally at the very least. But so Unearthly Comics sometime this fall.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, no, that's great, dude. It sounds like a really good story. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Thanks, man.
And do you guys have on the website, do you have any kind of previews of what the book is looking like, or even on your social? Are you posting any images? 'Cause I'd love to see some of that stuff too.
Yeah, go check out our Instagram page. And I think, and this is because I am a terrible social media manager, the link in our Instagram bio still goes to our Kickstarter campaign, even though the campaign is closed. But there are a bunch of images from the series on that Kickstarter campaign page. So yeah, no, on the Instagram profile for sure. I've been posting art for the past several months, posting some of Scott's illustrations. They look awesome, and on that campaign page as well.
Dude, thanks so much, Nick, for being on the show, man. This is I think this is going to be a great book. I'm looking forward to checking it out. And for those watching, go to unearthlycomics.com. Check out the other book, Gator Man Kills, because that also looks very, very interesting. The chat, yeah, the link is in the chat, and it's also in the show notes. Yes. You guys check it out. But Nick, man, you're welcome to come back anytime when you guys have the book ready to rock. You know, if you want to come and promote it, come and promote it. Check out some of the covers and all that other fun stuff.
Man,
going on over there.
Just no, thanks so much for having me, guys. Sam, it was really awesome getting to meet you back in Houston a couple weeks ago, and so I'm really happy we were able to make this happen. So I just really appreciate y'all having me on, man.
Definitely. Now you're part of the family, bro. So you have the link. You know when to book it. You don't have to ask again. You just book the slot.
You know I will.
All right,
brother. Thank you, man. Take care.
Safe.
Take care, guys.
Peace.
That was Nick Edwards and stilettos, man. Who doesn't like stilettos, bro? I wonder how many dollar bills went in the air before he came up with the idea.
Stop right now. Because you had a chance. You had a chance to ask that, and you did it. Jesus. All right, so guys, I'm out of here. It's been a long night.
No. I'm ready for the show tunes, bro.
What are you talking about?
I'm ready. Hold on. Let me get ready. Hold on.
Oh, you are making this real comfortable. All right, everybody in the chat, if you guys are still in there,
George is gonna sing.
Start dropping in the song.
He wants to hear it. He wants to hear it. Here's Herman. He wants to hear it.
Stilettos, sure, but then did murder on my cat. So what you even have? Wow.
It's me and Herman. We're ready to come on.
Before we get into the singing, Sam. Before we get into the singing. No, big shout out to Nick. Thank you for coming on, my brother.
I did want to show.
Aniba had a comment.
Yeah, he says true distribution is a business to itself. If you're selling your own product, that is just direct market sales, not distribution. Yes. Yeah, so but shout out to Nick. You know, keep doing your thing. And that's another reason why I love doing conventions, because you get to meet with people, and then and you bring them onto the show, and then we expose them to our listeners and our audience.
Yeah, no, for sure, dude. That's
Herman, bro. You got to see Herman live in the flesh.
It's a great way, like you said, to meet people, network, and get people who maybe don't have this.
But that's a great story. He's like, yo, I'm sitting there, I'm at the club, and she's spinning on the bar, and the stilettos go right across me, and I'm throwing out the dollar bills, and I'm like, yo,
Nick,
that's a comic.
Nick,
that's a comic.
I gotta apologize for my friend Nick. You could have read them when he was live on the show, but you chose not to do it. You waited till the man got off.
No, man, I saw it all in my head. I was like, as you guys were talking, I'm like, oh, I can see what happened.
Nick, you're welcome to come back whenever you want, and we're gonna talk about this when you come back on the show. Unbelievable. Anyway, here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Because it's getting close to 9 o'clock, and I gotta go to bed.
Me.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Really?
Happy birthday, dear Samuel. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Yes. We did it.
Sam,
I hope you have a great birthday, my brother.
Oh, man.
Go celebrate your 66th birthday.
66. Yeah. Don't be, dude. I still bench press 350, bro. Bang, bang. 350. And I'm curling 60-pound dumbbells.
You're going to be one of those diesel viejos walking around for no reason. You just diesel for no reason.
No reason
to be that strong at this age, bro.
Not bad.
Actually, I take that back. You do have a reason to be that pan rap version. That's right. You do have a reason to be that bro.
Because you've seen what I travel with.
Yo, bro. Oh my God, dude. What is going on?
Yo, it got
dude?
worse.
You
It got
dead
worse.
bodies in there.
Yo, it
dude.
got worse. It got worse, bro.
Oh
You gotta
my
see.
God.
You gotta see the new solutions that I have for my
You
setup.
saw Hugo's thing real quick. 35 times 10 pounds isn't benching 350, Sam.
Yo, I'm gonna film it. I'm gonna put it on my next
Oh, no.
vlog.
No,
you can
no.
see me load up the
No.
plates. I'm like,
Cover
"Dah."
yourself. Cover yourself completely. I don't want to see any freaking parts of your body that shouldn't be seen.
Yo, it's like,
But
yo.
what were you gonna say? What were you saying?
No, I wait till you see the next vlog. I got some new solutions for my booth setup. So I had to go and get hard cases because those duffel bag cases they rip.
No.
Yeah, so I had to get
What, the
hard
ones
cases.
the ones you fold onto themselves?
Yes, they tore.
Oh,
I was pulling them out because they were like 500 pounds. They were. So I had to get hard cases,
yeah.
and I had to get
More weight.
another, and I had to get a nude wagon. But I got these new
Oh, the
solutions.
wagon,
You
yeah.
know, you see how my stickers kept falling, and you
Yes.
know my prints were knocked all over the place by some
Yeah.
person, right? So what I so I got some new solutions that'll prevent all that from happening again.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll see it. You'll see it because it'll be set up at the Bell County Comic Con. But I got multiple requests. Can I show my approach to all the solutions, how I came across the solutions, the thought process behind it? So I'm actually gonna do an in-house in my house on my dining room table. I'm gonna do the setup there, and I'm gonna show it as part of like why I got this and where I got it and the prices and all that stuff because I've been getting a lot of requests for that.
Oh, okay. Okay. There
Yeah.
you go. Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. Good stuff. Stay
Yeah.
tuned to the vlog. That's right. That's right. Well, listen, guys, it's been fun. It's been a blast. Thank
Yeah,
you so
man.
much for coming on and being on with us.
Yes.
Sam, you'll be at what, in 2 weeks? You'll be at the
Texas Latino Comic Con. I'm looking forward to it. It's like, yo, mi gente. So I'm gonna be hanging out. Dun, 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 right? So
Yeah, that's the Spanish music you listen to. This is what we do. This is what we do.
It's like ding, 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 ding.
Okay. All right. All right.
My salsa.
Oh,
So
my God.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be fun, and I'm looking forward to connecting. I'm meeting a lot of there's so many people in Texas that are gonna be there, that I'll be getting onto the Catch the Craze. So I'm meeting a lot of new artists and creators out here that we're gonna be bringing on the show and expose them to all of you out there, introduce them to you. So that's pretty dope. So look for that. And then I have a week off, and then it's the Bell County Comic Con, which I'm really looking forward to. That's because it's really comic centric, and it's really focused on comic creators and the comic game. So that, and then September and October, 3 more shows, end the year that way, and take the November, December off because I'll probably be traveling with work anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. So I hope to see a lot of you out there. And again, if you haven't checked out the vlog, check out the vlog and go check out my boy, the Dream of Medina, at Plastic City Comic Con.
I'll be there next and too. The day you're at the Texas Latino Comic Con, I'll be at the Plastic City Comic Con.
Yeah,
So
man.
that's going to be a good time. I'll be out there with Jonathan. Make sure you check out the website, getyourmeds.com. I have some stuff on there. My nephew has started to do prints of his artwork. He's trying to
Really?
get out. Yeah. So check out his collection. It's called Lotto C, Lottoc.
Lotto C?
Lotto C, lot to see.
Lot to see. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's got a couple of prints that he's going to be putting out there. Hopefully I'll have some at Plastic City Comic Con. So he's trying to get out there and do his thing. So check his stuff out. His website will be coming out, artbylottoc.com, in the next few weeks. What else I have going on? Oh, don't forget to go to aceofimagination.com, pick up a copy of Rust 5377, the 25th anniversary edition. Also pick up a copy of Dead of Night, issue number 2, issue number 1 and number 2. I wrote issue number 2. So make sure you pick that up. Sam's got his duty in a comic strip, which he always forgets to mention. Kid in a Comic.
Yo, that's crazy, bro.
Out there. So check that out. Check out my YouTube channel, Get Your Meds on YouTube. And everything else, we remind you next week because that's what we do right before the show. We remind you.
Yeah, that's what we do. The Kid in the Comic. There it is. Bang. I forgot about that. Yeah, there it goes. A kidinthecomic.com, a kidinthecomic.com. Go check it out. Get yourself a copy.
There you
But
go.
yeah. I mean, we can't grow without you. So, when you hit that like button, give us a thumbs up. Let everybody know where you found us. Again, where we grow, the community grows. We're the first in the game. We're the OGs. right? We're the originators, right? And there's us and there's everybody else. So Catch the Craze, thank you so much for your support. Thank you everybody for the birthday wishes. I appreciate all of you out there. And with that said, I am. My thing is freezing.
Oh no!
Dang, I can't do the I am because I can't switch off.
Damn,
All right, hold on.
dog. Well, listen,
Yo.
before you sign off, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody who was on in the chat. Lou, obviously, Hugo, always at Ellis, Aníbal.
Yes, there you go.
We had End of Zed. We had, geez, who else was in here giving us some love? And
Oh, Sam Cameras froze. Yo, it's
It did
horrible, bro.
for a hot second, it really did. Diggs, BTW1. Who else was in here? Dan Barlow, everybody. Thank you so much, guys, for being on. And if you were on and didn't say what's up, it's okay. We're saying what's up to you guys. Thank you for coming on.
Yes,
sure
and
you
thank
hit
you
the
for
like
all
button.
the birthday wishes
Yes.
on Facebook. There's so
Yes.
many of you. It's hard for me to catch up. And those of you who DM'd me and got me on all, I mean, I got hit up on all social media. I was like, wham. I was like, I didn't know that many people even knew me. I don't know if that. It's like you know me. But with that said, Sam, you tripping. With that said, I'm Sam, the crazy man, Lara.
George, the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out. No, it's talking about my friend Acquise. I met him. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
He described me. He said, I'm the what?
Catch the Craze.
You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Catch the Craze.
You are listening to Catch the Craze.
Catch the Craze.
You're listening to Catch the Craze.